The ceiling was covered in pastel balloons, the kind that looked too soft to survive real life. I smiled because everyone expected me to. My fiancée tapped her glass with a spoon, the sharp clink cutting through chatter. I thought she was about to thank the guests. She looked around the room, then at me. I'm ending the engagement. The words froze me. My ears rang. People laughed nervously, thinking it was a joke. I stared at her lips, waiting for a punchline that never came. "Lena," I said, my throat dry. "What are you talking about?" "This is what's best." She said it like she was announcing the cake flavor, my mother whispered behind me. "Ethan!" I couldn't move. My legs felt nailed to the carpet. Across the room, Grace, her sister, dropped her eyes to the floor. I caught fragments of whispers. "Is he okay? Did they fight?" "Oh my God." "Lena," I tried again, softer. "Can we talk about this outside?" "No," her chin lifted. "I want to be honest with everyone." The crowd was silent. My heart hammered so loud I thought they could hear it. "Why now?" I asked. "Because lying doesn't help either of us," she said. I heard someone cough. A chair squeaked. My hand found the small velvet box in my pocket, the one with the ring I'd meant to give back later, when all the toasts were over. "After everything," I whispered, mostly to myself. She didn't answer. She just folded her napkin. I stepped back, the room blurring. My mother's hand brushed my arm, but I pulled away and walked out into the hall. Cool air hit me and I sucked it in like water. My palms shook. A voice followed me. Grace's. "Ethan," I turned. "You knew?" Her lips parted, then closed. She looked away. That silence was louder than any answer. "I see," I muttered. I wanted to run, but the sound of voices inside pushed me back. I wasn't going to give them a show. So I straightened, shoved the box deeper into my pocket, and went back in. The first person I met was an aunt I barely knew. "Ethan, the cupcakes are just divine, aren't they?" I forced a smile. "Yeah, amazing." Another woman laughed awkwardly. "Well, you'll both figure things out." "Sure," I said, though I didn't believe it. I moved from table to table, congratulating people on their baking, their decorations, their games. My body moved, my mouth worked, but my brain was elsewhere, screaming. When I reached Lena again, she was laughing with two bridesmaids. Her laugh was light, like nothing had happened. I stood there for a beat too long. She turned. "You don't need to stay." "I know." "Then why are you here?" "Because walking out makes me look weak," I said flatly. Her smile faltered. "This isn't about you looking weak." "No, Lena. It's about me being humiliated in front of everyone I know." She exhaled sharply. "Please don't make this harder." "Harder?" I almost laughed. "You think this is hard for you?" Grace stepped forward. "Stop, not here." I looked at her. "Funny, you're suddenly worried about me now." "Ethan, please," she whispered. My mom approached, voice low. "Son, let's go home," but I shook my head. "No, I'll finish this like a guest, then I'll leave." For the next half hour, I stayed. People avoided my eyes. Some hugged Lena, others patted my shoulder. It all felt staged, like a bad play where I'd been given the wrong script. A man at the punch bowl muttered, "Never seen anything like this?" I sipped water to keep from shaking. My throat burned, but not from thirst. Eventually, someone clinked a spoon and shouted about dessert. Laughter returned, cautious and strained. I slipped outside again, my chest tight. Grace followed once more. "Ethan, I swear I didn't want it this way." I turned slowly. "Then why didn't you stop her?" "She doesn't listen to me." "You could have warned me." Tears rimmed her eyes. "I'm sorry." I stared at her, then passed her at the door still covered in balloons. "Sorry doesn't erase the moment she chose." Grace bit her lip, then stepped back. I left her standing there. When I finally grabbed my coat, I brushed against the pocket with the ring box. For a second, I thought about pulling it out, throwing it on the ground, making her watch it crack. But instead, I held it tighter. As I walked past the tables one last time, my mother caught my arm. "Ethan, please don't torture yourself." "I'm not," I said quietly. "I'm remembering," she frowned. "Remembering what?" "That love isn't always real." Her face fell, but she let go. At the door, I turned once more. Lena was laughing again, a glass of champagne in her hand. Confetti from the showers game still clung to her hair. She looked like a bride, just not mine. I stepped outside into the crisp night with nothing but the ring box digging into my palm. I came back for my jacket. That's all I wanted, just my jacket and the receipt for the ring. But when I reached the gift table, a buzz shook the pile of tissue paper. A phone screen glowed under pink wrapping. I lifted the paper. It was Lena's phone, unlocked, my name on the wallpaper, me smiling at her in a photo I suddenly hated. Buzz. A text lit up the screen. Mason Blake, proud of you. Step 2 tomorrow. My stomach clenched. Step 2, I whispered, what the hell? I should have dropped it. Walked away. But my thumb slid up, opening the thread. At the top, the chat name Blue Door. My chest caved. That was our nickname for the apartment we signed for. Her last message blinked. He won't fight, I scrolled. Mason, he'll take the hit. Don't worry. Lena, I want it clean. If I tell him at the shower, he won't chase me. Mason, exactly. We'll be free. I covered my mouth. My pulse hammered so loud I thought someone would hear it. I muttered, you planned this? More lines appeared as I kept scrolling. Lena, he's still paying deposits. He doesn't check statements. Mason, smart. Don't say a word until it's locked down. Lena, he trusts me too much. My hand trembled. The air felt thin. Another buzz. Mason, after tonight, cut him. Change locks. I leaned against the table to keep from falling. A text popped up from another thread. Grace. Grace. Are you sure? He doesn't deserve this. I stared at the words. My throat closed. Grace knew. She knew and still watched me stand there tonight like a fool. I whispered, both of you. My thumb hovered. I could close it, pretend, but my other hand was already reaching for my email. I forwarded everything. Screenshots, dates, every betrayal burned into pixels. The phone dinged with each sent message. My breath shook. You won't bury me. Voices drifted from the living room. Laughter, clinking glasses. None of them knew I was reading the funeral notes of my own engagement. I scrolled further, unable to stop. Mason. Don't feel guilty. He's too soft. Lena. He'll move on. He always folds. Mason. That's why we do this now. No fight. My vision blurred. I wiped at my eyes, furious at myself for crying. I whispered, I loved you. God, I loved you. Someone entered the hall. I snapped the phone shut and shoved it back under the paper. My mother's voice floated closer. Ethan? Are you still here? I straightened. Yeah, Mom, just grabbing my jacket. She appeared in the doorway. You look pale. I'm fine. My voice cracked. She frowned. Son, I said I'm fine. Her mouth pressed thin. She touched my arm. Come home. Soon, I muttered. She sighed and went back inside. Alone again, I stared at the gift pile. That phone sat like a snake in the paper, buzzing every few minutes. I whispered, Step 2 tomorrow. What's step 3? I grabbed my jacket and slid the ring receipt into my wallet. The box in my pocket felt heavier now, like a joke no one would laugh at. As I reached the door, Grace's voice carried down the hall. Lena. He looked broken. Lena's reply was sharp. Don't start. He didn't deserve that, Grace said. He'll get over it. I froze. My hand clenched the doorknob. Grace's voice dropped. I don't recognize you anymore. Silence. Then Lena laughed softly. You'll understand when it's your turn. I pushed the door open, the sound creaking louder than my heartbeat. Neither of them noticed. Outside, the night air cut against my skin. I sucked it in, hoping it would cool the fire in my chest. My phone buzzed. Confirmation emails of the screenshots I'd just sent myself. Evidence I never thought I'd need. I whispered to the dark. She made me her victim. But I won't stay one. A car horn blared on the street. I startled, then gripped the ring box tighter. I told myself, you walk away with your head up. You walk away with your truth. Behind me, laughter spilled from the house again, muffled by walls but sharp enough to cut. I stepped off the porch, carrying the jacket, the ring, and the knowledge that love had just given me an enemy I never asked for. Noah was waiting at the apartment when I walked in. He took one look at me, shut the door, and slid the lock. Talk, he said. I dropped my jacket, pulled out my phone, and shoved it toward him. Read. His eyes darted over the screen. He whistled low. Damn, this is brutal. I sat heavily on the couch. She planned it. Every line. Step 1, step 2, money, lies. All of it, he scrolled further. She really said you wouldn't fight? I laughed without humor. Word for word. He shook his head. And this Mason guy, he's the new one? Yeah, apparently the upgrade. Noah tossed the phone onto the table. So what's the move? I don't know. My hands dug into my hair. Part of me wants to burn it all down. And the other part? Wants to survive without crawling. He sat beside me. Cold revenge, then. Not fire. Ice. I looked at him. Ice? Yeah, controlled, calculated, not messy. You're not smashing plates. You're removing the floor from under them. I swallowed. I can do that. Good. Step 1. Save this evidence before she deletes it. I nodded. Already did. Emailed myself the screenshots. Print them too. Old school backup. We pulled the printer from under the desk. Each page slid out, covered in the words that gutted me. I dated them, labeled the names. Noah tapped one line. Here, look. He can keep paying for the venue. She's literally bragging. I clenched my jaw. On my card, then cancel it, I grabbed my phone. My fingers flew through contacts until I found the vendor. The ringtone buzzed 3 times before a woman answered. Hello, this is Harper Lewis, venue manager. How can I help? Hi, my name is Ethan Cole. I'm listed on the Hart Cole wedding contract. Yes, of course, Mr. Cole. How are you? I forced my voice steady. Not good. I need to ask, whose card is on file for payment? She clicked through her computer. The groom's ending in 1742. That's mine. Cancel it immediately. A pause. May I ask why? The wedding's not happening, and I'm not paying another cent. Her voice softened. I'm sorry you're going through this. Truly. I'll remove your card today. She'll be responsible for the balance. Relief flooded me. Thank you, Harper. You're welcome. Take care of yourself. The line clicked dead. I sat back, exhaling. Noah smirked. 1 down. 12 to go. Yeah. My throat tightened. But I felt lighter just now. He clapped my shoulder. That's the ice working. I gathered the printed pages into a folder. Each one felt like a blade I didn't want but needed. Noah leaned forward. So what's step 2? Lock down everything else. Caterer, florist, planner. Cancel, cancel, cancel. And Mason. I thought about his text. Proud of you. Step 2 tomorrow. He'll get what's coming, I said quietly. Noah studied me. You serious about this quiet war thing? I'm done being a soft place for someone else's sharp hands. If they want me to fold, they'll choke on the silence instead. He grinned. That's my guy. I leaned back, staring at the folder on the table. Inside, it was every lie spelled out in black and white. Proof I wasn't crazy. Proof love could rot from the inside while you were still smiling. Noah cracked a window. Smoke drifted in from a neighbor's barbecue. He sniffed. Smells like war drums to me. I gave a bitter laugh. Funny, to me it smells like freedom. The diner was nearly empty at midnight. Fluorescent lights hummed, and the smell of burnt coffee hung in the air. Grace slid into the booth across from me, her coat pulled tight. You sounded serious, she said quietly. I leaned forward. I know, Grace. Her lips parted. Know what? I pulled a folded page of screenshots from my jacket and laid them on the table. The messages. Lena and Mason, every line. She stared at the paper, then bit her lip. You weren't supposed to see that, so it's true? She nodded weakly. Mason is bad news. I begged her to stop, my voice rose. Why didn't you tell me? Her hands twisted together. Loyalty and fear. She's my sister, I pressed. And I was supposed to be your brother-in-law. Her eyes shimmered. I know, I feel sick about it. I shoved the papers back into my jacket. She humiliated me in front of everyone. Did you watch me break for fun? No! Grace leaned closer. I wanted to scream at her, but she wouldn't listen. She kept saying, it has to be clean. I swallowed hard. Clean? That was execution, not honesty. She covered her face for a second, then pulled something from her purse, a folded sheet of paper. There's more. I shouldn't show you this, but you need to see it. I unfolded it slowly. At the top, Lena's handwriting. After. The first item, change locks. The second, block Ethan. I stared so long the words blurred. My chest tightened until I couldn't breathe. She already wrote me out of her life, I whispered. Grace reached across the table. Ethan, I didn't know she wrote that. I'm sorry, I pulled the paper closer. This was never about being honest. This was about erasing me. Grace's voice cracked. She's scared. Mason pulls the strings. I swear she wasn't like this before him. That doesn't make me less disposable. Tears slid down her cheeks. Hurt me if you need, but don't let him win. I looked at her through the haze of anger. Why do you care now? Because I saw your face tonight. You didn't deserve any of it, and she'll regret it when it's too late. I rubbed my temples. She already made sure it's too late, Grace whispered. You still love her, don't you? Stupidly, stubbornly, I hate myself for it, she swallowed. Then love yourself more, please. The waitress stopped by, dropping 2 mugs of coffee. Neither of us touched them. I pushed the note back toward her. Keep it. I don't want her words in my pocket. Grace shook her head. No, you take it. Proof. One day you'll need to remember she chose this. I slid it into my jacket, my hands shaking. Grace's voice dropped to a whisper. Ethan, don't go after Mason head on. He thrives on chaos. He'll drag you down. Be smarter. I'm already planning something colder. Her eyes widened. You scare me when you say it like that. Good, I said. Fear means I'm not folding anymore. She dabbed her tears with a napkin. Promise me one thing, don't lose yourself. I stood, dropping a bill on the table. I already lost myself, Grace. Tonight I'm finding him again. She called after me as I walked to the door. Please don't let this destroy you. I didn't answer. The night air hit me hard, carrying the weight of her tears and Lena's handwriting. My heart still clung to Lena. But something heavier had begun to grow inside me, something that sounded a lot like self-respect. I walked into the dark with the note pressed against my chest, shaking but awake. I woke before sunrise, jaw tight, phone face down, plan forming like frost on glass. Move, I told myself, and I did. I called the landlord first. Mr. Grant, it's Ethan Cole. Ethan, he said, voice steady. I figured I'd hear from you. You want off the Blue Door lease? Yes, today. Come by with your ID, he said. We'll execute a release and reassign all obligations to Ms. Hart. There are penalties. She assumed them when she pushed you out. I understand. At his office, he slid forms across the desk. Initial here, sign there. I also practice contract law, so if she disputes, we'll be ready. You're an attorney and a landlord, I said. 2 boring capes, he joked, but they fit. You okay? No, I said. But I'm standing. That counts, he said. For the record, her balance will accelerate, and the security deduction will be hers. You'll receive a written release today. Thank you, Oliver. We don't hunt. We document, he said. Quiet wins. Next stop was the jeweler. I'm returning the ring, I told the clerk. She glanced at the box, then at my face. Restocking fee applies. I know, I said. Please process it, the register chimed. Refund minus fee, she said. Back to your card in 3 to 5 days. 3 to 5 is fine, I said. I dialed the caterer. This is Ethan Cole, I said. The groom is canceling. Bill the bride. Understood, I called the florist. The groom is canceling. Bill the bride. I'm sorry. Me too, I said and called the planner. The groom is canceling. Bill the bride. Duly noted, he said. Anything else? No, I said. That's plenty. My phone lit with an incoming call. Lena. I let it ring until it died. A text followed. Please pick up. I typed back. I deserve better. The typing dots danced, then disappeared. At home, Noah wrestled a bin from the closet. You're early, he said. Also terrifying. I'm done bleeding out slowly, I said. Help me pack, he grinned. Orders received. We opened boxes labeled wedding and laid our history on the rug, programs, ribbons, blank thank you cards, a chalkboard sign that said, Welcome to our forever. I stared at it until the letters blurred. Noah nudged my elbow. You can toss it. I can keep it, I said, as testimony. He lifted another lid. Look at this, favors. He handed me a small bag. Inside sat a white teacup with a tiny chip at the rim. I traced the crack with my thumb. Of all things, I said. This is the one that hurts. Why? It's polite, I said. It smiles while it cuts. Noah sat cross-legged. Say it out loud. Get it out. I held the cup to my chest and whispered, I was going to be your husband. The room did not answer. The air carried only our breathing and the dull thud of my heart. I set the cup down gently, as if it could still break me. Noah spoke softly. Do you want me to hate her for you? No, I said. I want you to keep me honest. Then hear this, he said. You didn't lose. You learned? I'm tired of learning pain. Then graduate, he said. Major in boundaries, I laughed once, rough and surprised. You sound like a coach. I'm your friend, he said. I blow the whistle when you forget yourself. We filled trash bags, taped boxes, stacked the rest for donation. My phone buzzed. Grace, are you okay? I typed working. Quiet war. She replied, he'll hate quiet more than noise. Good, I wrote back, and pocketed the phone. Noah pointed at my running shoes by the door. Tonight? He asked. Tonight, I said. Breath in, pain out. Other way around, he said, grinning. But I get you. Afternoon light slid across the floor. I gathered the documents, release, refund receipt, vendor confirmations, and clipped them into a folder. I wrote a label on the tab, boundary. Noah peered over. That your trophy? My map, I said. So I don't wander back. You eaten? He asked from the kitchen. Not yet. Fuel up, he said. Soldiers march on calories. I'm not marching, I said. I'm leaving the field. Same legs, he said. Different song. Evening came with a cool wind. I laced my shoes while he stretched beside me. You want company? He asked. I want silence, I said. No offense. None taken, he said. If you don't come back in an hour, I send the cavalry. Text Oliver, I said. He has capes, Noah laughed. Go, I stepped into the night. Streetlights blinked on like new vows. My breath found rhythm. The first block stung. The second burned. The third settled. Breath in, I said. Pain out, my feet answered, hard and sure. Cars passed like brief thoughts. I let them go. I pictured the blue door, the color we chose, now mine to repaint. I pictured the teacup on a nail by my own door, a warning and a promise. A mile in, my phone buzzed in my pocket. I did not check it. The world narrowed to the slap of shoes and the drum of lungs. A stray dog trotted beside me for half a block, then veered away, uninterested in my small war. I turned toward home. Sweat cooled my face. The night did not congratulate me. It didn't need to. At the building, Noah leaned in the doorway. Well? I'm building a life where I don't need a blow-up, I said. He nodded. Blueprints look good. I toed off my shoes. Tomorrow I'll hang the teacup. Why a chipped cup? He asked. So my door learns the lesson before I forget it, I said. Don't drink from what cuts you, he saluted. General boundary. Civilian Ethan, I corrected. Just a man who finally left. We killed the lights. In the dark, the quiet didn't feel empty. It felt like space. I slept deeper that night. My inbox pinged. Harper's name flashed across the screen. Mr. Cole, the balance for the venue is overdue. Please confirm how you'd like to proceed, I typed back fast. The wedding is canceled. Remove my name. Bill Lena Hart. Seconds later, another email landed, this time from the florist. Subject line, late fee notice. I skimmed it. The invoice had both our names, but the CC showed mine highlighted as if I still owed. I muttered, not a chance. Noah glanced over from the kitchen. Another one? Yeah, they're piling on her now. Good, he said, pouring coffee. Let her carry what she planned. My phone buzzed. A text from Grace. She's spiraling. Mason's gone quiet. I stared at the words. Gone quiet. Did that mean he'd dropped her? Or worse, found another stage? Before I could reply, another message popped up. This one from an unknown number. Ethan? It's Tessa Moore. Remember me from the office? I frowned, typing back. Yeah. Hey. How'd you get my number? Mutual friend. Don't worry, I'm freelancing now. Look, you should know something. Mason Blake isn't clean. He's engaged to another woman in Cincinnati. My source is solid. I rubbed my eyes. Why tell me? Because I know you, Ethan. You won't smear him, but you should at least be armed. I typed back slowly. Thanks. But I'm not feeding gossip. Fair. Just hold on to it. Truth has a way of surfacing. I pocketed the phone. My pulse steadied. Even without lifting a finger, his world was cracking. Hours later, my mom showed up at the apartment with a pot of soup. She set it on the stove like it belonged there. Smells good, I said, sitting heavily at the table. You look worse than last week, she answered, ladling soup into bowls. I've had better months. She slid a bowl toward me. Eat, I sipped. Salt, warmth, and something that tasted like home. She folded her hands. You remind me of myself when your father left. The spoon paused halfway to my mouth. Mom, no, let me say it. Her eyes softened. I was kind, Ethan, too kind. I thought if I gave enough, he'd stay. But kindness without boundaries is blindness, I looked down. I promised myself I wouldn't end up like that. And yet here I am, I finished for her. She reached across the table. You were betrayed, but that doesn't make you weak. Weakness is pretending it didn't happen. I stared at her hand, then took it. When Dad left, I told myself never to let a goodbye make me small again. Then hold to that promise, she whispered. I let go, leaning back. I think I'm finally learning how. We sat in silence for a while, just the hum of the fridge filling the room. She said softly, What's the plan now? Stay quiet. Let the cracks find her, her brow furrowed. That doesn't sound like revenge. It's not. It's balance, her lips pressed thin. Balance is good. But don't mistake silence for healing. You still need to rebuild. I know. She stood, kissed the top of my head, and left the soup on the stove. 4 hours, she said as she grabbed her coat. What? Sleep 4 hours tonight. That's your homework. I laughed under my breath. Yes, Mom. She smiled faintly and left. That night, I actually did. 4 straight hours without waking up. No phone buzz, no replay of Lena's voice at the shower. Just dark, heavy rest. When I woke, my head felt clearer. Not healed, but stronger. I whispered into the empty room. I'm not folding anymore. The phone buzzed at midnight, blocked number flashing on the screen. Against my better judgment, I answered. Ethan Cole. Who's asking? Mason Blake, don't hang up. I tightened my grip. What do you want? Walk away and I'll wire you $5,000. I hit record on my second phone. $5,000? Why pay me to disappear? His chuckle oozed through the line. Because you're a nice guy. Stay nice. Stay out of my way, I forced my voice steady. You're offering me hush money? Call it encouragement. Move on. Let Lena breathe. Why would I take money from the man who coached her to humiliate me? He paused, then laughed again. Well, you caught that, huh? She wouldn't have had the guts on her own. I gave her the script. My pulse spiked. So you admit it? Sure, doesn't matter. You'll never prove a thing. I ended the call before my rage could spill out. The recording blinked, saved. I emailed it straight to Oliver with the subject line, evidence. 10 minutes later, Oliver called. Good move recording that. Can I use it against him? Not directly. Don't threaten. Don't wave it in his face. Document everything. Courts like evidence, not vendettas. I rubbed my eyes. So I just sit on it? For now, Oliver said. Patience is power, Ethan. Remember that. After we hung up, my phone buzzed again. This time it was Lena. Can we talk? I stared at the screen for a long time before typing back. Public place. We met at a coffee shop the next afternoon. She arrived in oversized sunglasses, her hair messy like she hadn't slept. She slid into the booth across from me. I'm sorry, she whispered. I leaned forward. For what? For planning it? For enjoying it? For cashing my card while he smiled in your ear. Her voice cracked. I didn't enjoy it. Then why do it? Because I thought it was the only way. The only way to what? To erase me. Her eyes darted toward the door like she was waiting for him. I folded my arms. Looking for Mason? No, she lied too fast. I pulled up the call log on my phone, the recording icon glowing. He called me last night. Offered me money to vanish. Admitted he coached you. Want to hear it? Her face drained of color. He said that? Every word. Her hand trembled as she reached for the phone. Play it. I hit play. Mason's voice filled the booth. She wouldn't have had the guts. I gave her the script. Her hand flew to her mouth. Tears welled. I thought he loved me. I stared at her. I thought you did. She dropped her hand, trembling. I don't even recognize myself anymore. That makes 2 of us. Her voice softened to a plea. Ethan, I was scared. He made it sound like freedom. Like I'd finally be seen. You were already seen. By me, she wiped her eyes. You don't understand. He made me feel I cut her off. He made you feel powerful by destroying me. That's not love. That's manipulation, she whispered. I'm so sorry. Sorry doesn't erase the glass you shattered in my chest. Her eyes begged. Please say something kinder. I don't want to leave like this. I leaned back. You made sure of it when you chose him. She reached across the table, fingers hovering for mine. I didn't move. the space between us filled with silence heavier than any scream. I said quietly, "I'm not here to fix your fire, Lena. I'm here so it won't burn me again." Her hand fell back to her lap. She whispered, "Then I've already lost." I stood, sliding my phone into my pocket. "You lost the second you believed I wouldn't fight." I walked out without turning back. The cold air outside hit me like truth. I inhaled it deeply, steady for the first time in weeks. The church hall smelled faintly of polish and coffee. Pastor Daniel Brooks stood at the end of a long table, hands folded. "Thank you all for coming," he said. "We are here to seek peace." I set a folder on the table. Not a weapon, not fire. Just paper. Lena sat across from me, red-eyed. Mason wasn't here, coward. Grace sat beside her, twisting her hands. My mom pressed close to my shoulder. Pastor Daniel gestured. "Let's begin." Lena spoke first. I acted out of stress. Planning the wedding broke me. I panicked. That's all. I opened the folder. No, it wasn't panic. She froze. "Ethan," I slid the screenshots across the table. "These are your messages. Planning my humiliation with Mason, using my card." Gasps circled the table. Grace whispered, "I told you." Her voice cracking. Lena's face crumpled. "Those are private." I pulled out my phone, tapped play. Mason's voice filled the room. She wouldn't have had the guts on her own. I gave her the script. Silence dropped like stone. Margaret, my mother, squeezed my shoulder. Her hand was steady. Grace covered her face. "I warned you, Lena. I begged you." Pastor Daniel cleared his throat. "Truth is not revenge. But truth has weight." Lena's tears spilled fast. I hate myself. The words cut me. Because I believed her. And it still hurt. I said quietly, "I won't drag your name." "I'm done," she sobbed. "Please, Ethan." No shouting, no curse. Just done. I stood, my legs steady under me for the first time in weeks. Grace looked up, tears streaming. "Thank you for not destroying her." I shook my head. "I didn't have to. She did that herself." Pastor Daniel's voice was soft. "Sometimes storms pass without thunder. Sometimes truth is enough." I closed the folder, tucked it under my arm, and breathed. Relief poured through me, like a storm moving east while I stayed still. The ground under my feet felt mine again. Oliver sat across from me, paper spread out between us. "Good news," he said, tapping the lease copy. "Your name is officially removed. The landlord's suit won't touch you." I exhaled. Finally. "He'll have to go after Lena. You're clean." I leaned back. "I almost feel guilty." Oliver raised an eyebrow. "Almost? She's paying for what she did, but it doesn't make me happy." "It's not supposed to," he said firmly. "Justice isn't joy. It's balance." I nodded slowly. "Balance, right." When he left, my phone buzzed. A text from Tessa. "Ethan, I'm pitching a piece on modern wedding fallouts. Can I quote you?" I typed back, "No, some stories belong to our scars." She replied with a simple, "Respect." Noah came in carrying a box. "Living room or bedroom?" "Bedroom," I said, pointing. We were moving my life into a smaller, sunlit place. Less space, but more mine. He dropped the box and grinned. "This place feels good." "Feels empty," I muttered. "Empty is just space waiting to be filled." I smirked. "You should write greeting cards." "Shut up and grab that side table." We hauled furniture, sweat dripping, silence broken by curses when something scraped the wall. Finally, we stopped, staring at the blank walls. "You need a marker," Noah said. "Something that screams, Ethan lives here." I dug into one of my boxes, pulled out a chipped teacup from the bridal shower favors. "You're kidding," he said. "That thing?" I grabbed a nail and hammer. "Don't drink from what cuts you." I hung the teacup by the door. Noah tilted his head. "Dark but poetic." "It's a reminder." He clapped me on the back. "You're getting scary-wise." My phone buzzed again. A long message. From Lena. I opened it. "I'm pregnant." My fingers went numb. I sank onto the couch. Noah frowned. "What is it?" I showed him. "Damn," he muttered. "Is it?" I typed back, "Is it mine?" Hours passed. No response. I sat there, the silence heavier than any scream. Finally, my phone lit up. "No." I stared at the word until my eyes burned. Noah sat beside me. "I'm sorry, man," I whispered. "I don't even know what to feel." He leaned back. "Feel whatever comes. You don't owe her anything." I nodded faintly. My thumbs hovered over the screen. I typed, "I hope the baby never learns to lie." I stared at it for minutes, then deleted it. Instead, I typed, "Take care." I hit send. Noah asked, "That's it?" "Mercy feels heavier than anger," I said softly. "But it's mine," the message sent. A piece of me felt lighter. I leaned back, eyes on the chipped teacup by the door. My reminder. My boundary. My survival. I spent Saturday morning sketching layouts on graph paper. A studio with light streaming through tall windows. A door painted the exact shade of the blue door Lena and I never got. My door now. My choice. Noah peeked over my shoulder. "Looks like you're building a fortress." "Not a fortress," I said, pencil scratching. "A place where I don't have to explain myself," he nodded. "Good. You need that." At work, a new project landed on my desk. Numbers, reports, strategy meetings, but for the first time in weeks, I leaned in. My manager asked, "Cole, you good to lead this one?" "Yes," I said without hesitation. My voice didn't shake. That evening, I stopped at a coffee shop. A familiar voice startled me. "Ethan?" I looked up. Harper, the venue manager, stood with a cup in hand. "How's your week?" she asked. "Better than last month," I admitted. She smiled. "That's not a high bar." True, but progress counts. We found a corner table. Conversation slipped easy. Nothing forced, no shadows of betrayal. She asked, "Still sketching places you'll build?" I blinked. "How did you—" "You sounded like a builder when you called about the venue. Some people rebuild with walls, others with words." I laughed softly. "Maybe I'm trying both." Her eyes were steady. "Good. Just don't forget to live in the house once you build it." The words stayed with me after she left. That night, my phone rang. Mom's laughter filled my ear. "Margaret Cole, you sound happy," I said. "I'm laughing because you finally picked up before the third ring," she teased. "Busy sketching." "Sketching what?" "Something new." "Something mine." She was quiet a moment. "That's all I wanted to hear." I smiled into the dark. "Thanks, Mom," she said warmly. "I can breathe easier now." When Noah dragged me to the gym the next morning, he clapped as I lifted. "Your form's better," he said, still weak. "Not compared to last month." I set the weights down. "Feels strange to measure progress in inches, not miles." He grinned. Strange, but real. I went home tired but lighter. For the first time in months, I ate without feeling sick. I slept through the night. I didn't check Lena's socials. Not once. A week later, an envelope slid under my door. From Grace. Inside was the note titled, "After." But across the bottom, in her handwriting, one new line. "Choose yourself first." I pinned it above my desk. Noah walked by and read it. "Sounds like scripture." "Sounds like survival," I said. He nodded. "Maybe both." I sat at the desk, sketches spread around me, the chipped teacup nailed to the wall by the door. My reminder. My warning, I whispered. "I'm not trying to win anymore. I'm trying to live." And the difference was quiet and huge. Sunday morning was gray, sky heavy, the kind that made the world feel half asleep. My phone buzzed on the table. "Lena, I'm sorry for everything. If there's any kindness left, please don't hate me." I stared at the words until the screen dimmed. Hate. Did I hate her? The bridal shower replayed in my mind. The text, Mason's voice in my recording. The chipped cup nailed to my wall. The blue door I was sketching in my notebooks, mine now, not hers. I whispered to myself, "Do I hate you?" No, not hate. Just wait. I opened the reply box. My thumbs hovered, then typed, "I don't hate you. I'm done carrying you." I read it twice, breathed once, and hit send. The screen blinked, delivered. No fireworks. No collapse. Just silence. I grabbed my jacket. The apartment was still, sunlight slipping through blinds. The chipped teacup hung near the door, a crooked little guard. I whispered to it, "That chapter's closed." The hallway smelled faintly of dust and old paint. Noah's voice carried from the stairs. "You coming?" he shouted. "Yeah!" I called back. I locked my door. In my pocket, I carried no keys that belonged to her, no ring boxes, no receipts for a wedding that never was. Just my own keys, my own phone, my own space. I stepped outside. Cool air brushed my face, sharper than coffee, cleaner than confession. Noah was waiting, leaning against the rail. You look lighter. I sent the last message, I said. He raised an eyebrow. And I told her I don't hate her. I'm done carrying her. He studied me, then nodded. Good. Hate's heavy. You don't need it. I thought it would feel empty, I admitted. But it feels clear. That's freedom. We walked down the stairs together. He asked, so what now? You gonna finish that blue door design? Yeah, I said. And maybe build more than walls. Maybe build a life. It sounds like a plan, I smiled faintly. For once it is. The sky above was still gray, but it didn't press me down. It opened, wide enough for steps forward. I carried nothing borrowed, nothing broken, nothing scripted by anyone else. Just a lighter heart, and a plan. The world still hurt sometimes. But I wasn't afraid of it anymore. I was here. I was ready.